let's get into Freedom February. And I guess I should talk about the other thing that's in February, Valentine's Day and love. But we're not going to talk about your usual, typical definition of love and Valentine's Day. We're going to talk about living in love and the opposite of love, fear. When we hear the word fear, just sit for a second and think about what it makes you feel. You probably tense up. Your heart rate might change a little bit. Physiology changes. Your thoughts change. You might feel a little bit heavy. And then think of love, which is the opposite of fear. Love feels lighter. You can breathe. I just did a nice big exhale when I thought about love because it's light. It's supposed to be warm and inspiring, and it allows you to feel loose and move. In order to transition ourselves to have more love in our lives, regardless of a significant other or not, we have to face our fears. We have to take that tense, intense, uncomfortable stuff, and we have to look at it and start to transition it, transform it into that lighter level of love. But who wants to face their fears? Nobody likes doing that. It's not fun. We just went through how it feels to do that. But without doing that, we don't really understand ourselves. It took me a few weeks, maybe a couple months of working with my life coach to realize that I had spent the majority of my life, and I still spend a good amount of my life, living in fear instead of living in love. I have some tough memories that my parents are no longer with me, with us, my sister and I. And there were some things that I kind of put away that I didn't want to go do or think or feel. And interestingly enough, last year in 2021, half of 2020 and part of 21, I met my mirror that forced me to face all of the things that I had been hiding from, that I was afraid to go look at or afraid to see or afraid to change. And in facing those fears and realizing what my fears were, I was brought into love. And I realized that I do know how to love. I do know what love is. Little by little, as we hung out, as we spent more time together, as we would do things that we both enjoyed, it turned out that I didn't have to be so scared anymore of going back to those things that I had buried and hid away, that I didn't want to feel or think about anymore. But that's how we learn. And in those moments, through those people, we reflect, and everything is projected back to us. And fear then starts to transform into love once you stare it in the face and realize, you know, that is actually something I loved, that I was afraid to do, that I was afraid to be. That person saw something in me that I wasn't able to see, and I want to see that. So as much as that Valentine's Day type love can be irritating for some of us or really awesome, our ultimate goal is to have that light and love for ourselves, because no matter who comes around, no matter how great they tell you you are, ultimately, our fear gets in the way of allowing them to be able to, quote, love us the way that we ultimately need to love ourselves. So your Freedom February question is, what fears can you free yourself from that will allow you to access more of the love that you already are?